were not allowed to read. To be found writing could mean the loss of a limb or a life. It was in secret that we gained knowledge. Therefore, we rise in a new form of expression through literature. I read and write because I can. My mama said knowledge is the best weapon you can have, and it is my right. And their eyes were watching God. Zora Neale Hurston quotes, "Women forgot all those things they don't want to remember, and remember everything they don't want to forget. The dream is the truth." There's something about the raw truth that some cannot handle or will block out for the fear of realizing that it is their own burden to bear or heal from. Roots by Alex Haley. Either you deal with what is the reality, or you can be sure that the reality is going to deal with you. History is connected, never disconnecting itself. There is always a continuance of new history adding on. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like rivers. The Negro Speaks of Rivers by Langston Hughes. We were just a group of black and white students gathering to make change, traveling through the deep South while defying Jim Crow laws in protest of segregation was a job within itself. The Bus of Hope was a movement not only to get the people of the South, but the nation to seek this idea of integration being possible. For 2 weeks straight, we traveled from Washington, D.C. to New Orleans, making stops through Virginia, Alabama, Mississippi, and so on. But 1961 was one of many times when whites had a specific way of living and blacks were to stay in their lane that they boxed us in. To sway from that meant serious consequences for minimal matter. Some would say we were naive to think something so important would have a positive outcome. Being a blended group of riders, we were constantly spit on and verbally attacked. A white mob holding members of the KKK even surrounded the bus, proceeding to slash tires, firebombing the bus, and brutally beating members of the Freedom Riders. It wasn't all for nothing. By the end of our travel, we were successful in convincing the federal government to enforce federal law for the integration of interstate travel. Help me. Why do you stand there and watch? Do my cries mean nothing? What have I done but be born? You stand there and watch as my body becomes lifeless, spear in hand, smile on your face. A party celebrates a bloody, deformed human. The color of dirt. A natural being. We are seen as monsters, and yet images of your work produce ignorant portraits. Family, love, hope, farewell to you and the life I once knew. Imagine traveling the unknown woods with an infant, trying to escape with no actual guide. The exhaustion to just make it to the next safe house and start the journey all over again. Slave owners and their hounds on a hunt for black flesh. your adrenaline pumping, those silent cries of fear. I'd heard tales of babies slain to not get caught, knowing there was a tragedy awaiting at any moment. All we wanted was to be free. From backbreaking work, whip cutting into already open wounds, all I had left of me was hate coursing through my veins. Fear and hunger scratching at the mind and body. Death could be calling at our names at any moment. Death was better than living on a plantation and creating a lineage sentenced to the same life. Freedom. Give me freedom is what kept me going. There was hope for a future, for my baby and for me.